All right, our favorite person in the world, pro-Hamas sympathizer, Miss Rachel, is now also apparently spreading racist misinformation. So this is a video from one of our favorite YouTubers, Amala, and she covered Miss Rachel spreading racist misinformation. Let's check it out.
There's a narrative being pushed on the left right now that Black people are being lynched all over the United States. There is no evidence to back this whatsoever. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please consider liking and subscribing. I don't know about you, but I keep seeing this narrative all over the internet that Black people are being lynched all over the United States of America. What? Since when is this happening? I don't know, but on the left, this is a strong story arc, I guess, about the United States. Now, the other day, I was on TikTok and I came across this video posted by Miss Rachel. You guys know Miss Rachel. She's the kids content creator who also happens to like dabble in leftist politics. She's done videos with Mom Donnie. She's now posting about listening to the Black community. Let's look at this video.
She's also had pro-Hamas sympathizers and terrorizers, pro-Hamas supporters on her show for children. Yeah, she's a real standout. Real standout.
She posted about Black people being hung from trees. It's got 2.5 million likes on it on TikTok.
Holy shit.
To the Black community. Black people don't hang themselves from trees. There's been at least 7 Black people found hanging from trees. Please listen to the Black community.
Okay. It like cuts off at this weird space where you think she's going to like talk more about these 7 apparent Black people who have been found hanging from trees that she is insinuating were lynched. Let's make that clear. But she gives no details on it whatsoever. Now, I encourage you guys to look into these cases on your own, as you probably are going to hear more about them on the internet. But when you look into these 7 Black people found hanging from trees, there is zero, and I'll tell you again, zero evidence that these are racially motivated crimes, that these people were lynched in any way, shape, or form. Zero evidence. Yet you're going to see TikTok after TikTok, video after video, X post after X post about people saying Black people are being lynched in the United States. All because we have this narrative about racial animosity towards Black people in this country that exists currently because of this nation's history. And that I guess white people in today's time in America are, I guess, taking up the torch of old KKK racists and going around and lynching random Black people in public here in the United States. Now, you look into many of these cases, and in reality, law enforcement has...
That's why I come to Amala. She's got the truth. And congratulations on your new baby. Hopefully everything's going well. God bless. It's a fucking miracle to be a parent. So, yeah, we're going to watch a video after this about Ben Shapiro covering the Lindsay Clancy case, so it's going to get a little bit more darker. So hopefully I could shed some light about how being a dad and being a parent is fucking awesome, and my wife is doing an amazing fucking job being a mom. And let's celebrate that. As of course, there's always going to be evil and darkness in the world. So,
ruled the majority of them suicides with evidence to do so. We don't just go around finding cases that are murders or that have foul play.
Fugly, you're so cute. You're so cute, boy.
Or that are racial lynchings, and then label them suicides for no reason whatsoever. In a few of these cases, they actually have footage that displays the person entering an area alone and in fact committing the act of suicide. Yet the left is hopping on the internet and saying that these individuals were lynched. Now, Miss Rachel is not the only one. However, she is the most influential one so far that I've seen share this narrative. I'll show you another TikTok. This one has 1.4 million likes on it.
Black people are being lynched all around the country right now. They are being found hanging from trees in public spaces.
All around.
Serious issue with our information. That this woman can say this with full confidence and millions of people will like it, believe it, and never question it. What she's saying is very, very serious. Like if there were actually Black people getting lynched across America, that'd be fucked. It's still fucked that they're suicides. That's still really fucked. And we need to figure that out as well. But like this just creates more division and more division and more division, more hatred.
Of the country right now. Okay, so let's jump from Miss Rachel's 7. Okay, she says 7, and let's go ahead and assume that all 7 of those are racial lynchings, when in fact 0 of them have been deemed to be racial lynchings. This video says it's happening all over the country. Even if the 7 were true, is that all over the country? Let's be so fucking for real. Okay, this type of stuff pisses me off, because where do you get off lying like this? And there's no recourse, there's no account.
You get off lying because you get views, you get clicks, and you get money. That's what you get off. That's the fucking vibe, the attention, baby.
Accountability. There's nothing you can do about this whatsoever. It's just videos that go out, create a narrative, get millions of likes. And now people are running around saying that Black people are getting lynched in the United States because it makes them feel better, I think, to think that that's the reality in this country. It's very similar to what we're seeing right now with the Lindsay Clancy case. I'm going to go on a tangent here for a little bit. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this case. She is a mother.
Come on, internet. Be with me. Please. Dang.
That killed 3 of her children, all 3 of her children, while her husband was out of the house. Because of this idea that modern day feminists have of patriarchy and motherhood and the oppression of women, there is a large subgroup of women online right now accusing this husband of having murdered his 3 children. With any evidence whatsoever? No. 0 evidence whatsoever. But they're making videos saying this guy did the murder. They're getting millions of likes, millions of views. They're perpetuating a narrative that is then being carried by other people. And why? All because they have a worldview about patriarchy and feminism. And that's exactly what's happening here with these apparent lynchings that are not lynchings. Let's keep watching.
They're also going missing. They're also being murdered in.
Yeah, it's a good point there about Amala. It's all part of an ideological view. And people are so wrapped up in it that they can't see facts and real and reality. And they just make up whatever they want.
Lots of other ways as well. And I can assure you there is no debate here. No debate whatsoever. Black people do not hang themselves from trees in public. That is not a debate. That is not the world we live in. Don't even try.
Oh, weird. Because I was going to cite evidence. I was going to look into the stories. I was going to read about what happened. I was going to see the conclusion that law enforcement came to. But you just let me know there's no debate. Let me shut up then. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. No, there in fact is a debate about whether or not what you are saying is factual, especially when what you're saying isn't factual. You can't shut down debate and retort by saying there's just simply no debate. Don't even try. Black people don't hang themselves from trees. Well, apparently some Black people do. And it's just so weird to push this forward just because of a historical past in this country, just because of what happened in the Jim Crow South and with the KKK and with the civil rights movement in this country. No Black person will ever hang themselves from a tree ever again. Huh? Like, where's the logic?
Instead of giving high-level details about all of the people and all of the situations, I recommend, honestly, just leave this video if you feel like it and go to Black creators that are talking about it.
Okay. So instead of giving you any evidence as to what I'm speaking to, instead of validating the opinion that I'm selling to you as fact, I'm going to push you over to other Black creators. Go check it out with them as I make a bold statement and drop a bomb in the middle of this platform that leaves you with an impression that you're living in a highly racist country, a country so racist that Black people are getting lynched all over the place in it. Go check out Black creators talking about it. Ooh, you found one, half Black only. Do I count as somebody to be listened to on the subject?
No.
They're going to have way better insight.
No, you don't, Amala, because you're too reasonable, logical, so you don't count. Sorry.
On this situation than I am. However, there are things that I can talk about as a white human being on the internet. And that's the privilege that I have when I walk into a room or I enter a situation that Black people simply don't have. And I can use that privilege to support the Black community. And so can you. So if you look like me, let's have a conversation real quick. When I walk into an establishment, I am not immediately judged as somebody who is lesser than, who is going to steal, who is going to harm somebody, who is probably carrying a weapon. That doesn't typically happen, but that does happen with Black people. So,
it's never happened to me. It hasn't happened to most black people that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But
No, where I live or where I'm from. No. Fucking shady people look like shady people. Doesn't matter what color skin they are.
go off, sis. Just keep pushing your narrative. Keep pushing your narrative. This is just like white savior to the nth degree.
I have that privilege of walking into somewhere and people not immediately.
The problem is, like, privilege is such a good word. It's such a good word, and it fits in a lot of different things. But now the word is fucked. The word is so fucked. Just like racist is kind of fucked. Just like Nazi is kind of fucked. Even anti-Semitic. Like, all these words don't even fucking mean anything because people use them all the time and in stupid contexts, and it doesn't make any sense. And privilege, such a good word. Kind of unusable now.
Seeing me as a threat. And when I see somebody assuming a Black person is a threat, I have the ability to physically put myself in that situation in between the two to either de-escalate it or to push that focus onto me rather than them.
I will take things that have never happened to this woman for $1 million, Alex. Give it to me, Alex. Let's keep going.
Can happen in a situation where a police officer is involved and that police officer is kind of being weird, kind of looking at people weird. This can happen in a situation where there are microaggressions, where there's racism, where an establishment is just like, people are following Black people around the grocery store, whatever it is. There's lots of situations that pop up every single day. The second you walk outside, it'll probably happen. You have the ability to physically put yourself in that situation and to, again, either de-escalate or have the escalation moved towards you. The focus.
This has never happened to this woman and will never happen to this woman, except she's hopping on TikTok, getting millions of likes, saying it happens every second when you walk out of the door, and lynchings are happening all over the US. She is LARPing. She's fantasizing about protecting a Black person in a situation of racial peril. Just really think about that. Think about the fact that she's fantasizing about protecting Black people from these sort of racist incidences that are few and far between. And if they are happening, this is a surefire way to get yourself pepper sprayed, killed, or in a damaging position that you did not need to be in. You do not need to step into a situation that somebody else is facing like this, because you are likely going to make that situation much, much worse with your presence and with what she is describing, especially since she's jumping into this, assuming there's racial animosity at play, when more often than not, when these situations are unfolding in front of you, there is no racial animosity taking place. Now, that is not to say that these situations never happen, but they happen in far fewer instances than these people would like to believe. We'll finish out our video if I can take it anymore.
This is now on you, the person who is probably not going to get harmed or go to jail or get shot dead because they decided to have a confrontation. That situation is a hard reality for Black people all around the country, all around the world. White supremacy is getting worse and worse. And what I mean by that, it's already existed. It's existed for forever. But the openness of white supremacy and racism is astronomically bad right now. And if you have any heart, if you are white and you have the ability to stand up for the Black community, you better fucking do it, because white supremacy is going to keep getting worse. And if it keeps getting normalized because nobody's saying anything or doing.
Dude, I agree that there are certain people who hate Black people. Of course there are. There are white supremacists. There are people who hate Jews and hate Asians and hate all different kinds of people. Those people fucking suck. But our society is not overwhelmed by those people. And it just creates more hatred if you talk about it in this extreme manner, like she's talking about it.
Doing anything or redirecting things towards them where it's not a dangerous situation anymore, then Black people are going to keep being found fucking hanging from trees.
Okay. And we're back to where we started with these lynchings that, with no evidence whatsoever, we are blaming on white supremacy and white people. Like, what a time, man. Anything happens to a Black person, any conversation about a Black person, and you can just jump ABC straight to blaming white people. Literally any instance, and you'll pretty much get away with it. In fact, you'll be applauded for saying this. Her comment section is full of people who are just saying, this is great. Thank you so much for standing up. I hate racism, even though she's substantiated none of what she's talking about. And again, she's not the only one. We've gone through Miss Rachel.
Even though her video is creating more racism, she's standing up against racism, but she's actually creating more division and more hatred from Mrs. Rachel or Miss Rachel or whatever the fuck her name
We've
is.
gone through hers. And in a video earlier this week, we had Barrett Paul, who is a prominent leftist on TikTok, talking about the same thing, this epidemic of Black people being lynched and going missing. Here's a little clip.
You know who any of these women are? All of them have been found hanging from trees. This little boy has been missing for 3 days. This little boy has been missing for 3 days. Nolan Wells.
Tasia Fortune was found hanging from a tree in Jackson, Mississippi. And since
Okay, so just over and over and over. In fact, he cites other videos where people are pushing this forward. What is the reality here? Well, I said it, and you can look into it. Most of these have been deemed suicides with evidence to deem them so. Others are currently in the midst of investigation. Others have been ruled that there was no foul play whatsoever. As far as the missing kids, we should do everything we can to find those kids. Why would we immediately assume this is some extension of white supremacy, or a white person is responsible or behind these acts or these missing children? It makes absolutely no sense. In fact, having this mindset is to deter from actual investigation and from finding these kids. If you jump to a conclusion before a conclusion has even been met with any evidence whatsoever, you've done a disservice to the kids that they're supposed to be looking for. You've done a disservice to the investigations of these Black people who have been found hanging from trees.
Yep.
You've just decided Black people don't do that. Okay, well then who did? Just white people? Just white supremacy? Just American history? It makes no sense. I cannot stress it enough. But this is what we do when Black people are involved in anything. We just immediately jump to blaming white people. And I'm going to say the uncomfortable part out loud. I'm going to say the hard part out loud. If foul play is in play here, if these are murders and homicides, look into the stats on who's most likely responsible for that. If you are a Black person, it's another Black person. That is simply the truth. So how are we jumping from that to white supremacy? How are we jumping to anything when we have no facts? Wait for facts. Don't just hop on TikTok with your straight face and your stern attitude and your condescending activist tone and tell people what they should be thinking and feeling in regard to this.
Yeah, it's all suicidal empathy and unearned moral virtue, and it's destroying our information and how we get facts and evidence.
And certainly don't jump online and share this sentence that Black people just don't hang themselves from trees, because that's ridiculous. Guys, I don't know what else to say on this, but I have a feeling I'm going to see more videos popping up on the internet and all over the place about this subject. So I figured I'd get ahead of it, considering these things have reach, lots of reach. Hopefully this video has as much reach as these little TikToks do, because if it doesn't, I mean, a lot of people are just going to be running around sharing bullshit. Okay, guys, that's the video. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear your
Thanks, Amala.